Okay, so this video is about the Clean Car Discount Program. And so, for everybody who doesn't know, from 1st of April 2022, the government is bringing in this new scheme which discounts efficient cars and charges extra fees on inefficient cars. And somewhere in the middle is this thing called the zero band. Now, I'll just bring this graph up and I'll make this a bit bigger so that it's full screen. So if I go like this, yes, it gets bigger. That's good. So here's the graph and how it works. So I don't know if you can see the mouse pointer, but down here in the green zone on the graph, you've got your low emission vehicles and your zero emission vehicles. Now, low emission vehicles doesn't just mean hybrids and plug-in hybrids and electric cars. It also means just efficient small petrol cars. So like common ones are like a Honda Jazz or maybe a Suzuki Swift, the Toyota Yaris or Platts, depending on what they're called. Those cars also are efficient and they are also rewarded under the scheme. So you can get a discount if you buy after the 1st of April 2022, you can get a discount for buying those cars. Up in the orange zone, you get the inefficient car penalty. So if you buy a giant four-wheel drive with a big V8, you might have to pay an extra $5,175. And a lot of people who drive four-wheel drives won't be really happy that they might need those for their work vehicles or their farm vehicles. But on the other hand, the electric pickup trucks and stuff are coming. There's LDV have a new one that looks to be, if you just want a normal two-wheel drive vehicle that looks like a Ranger or a Hilux, then this two-wheel drive vehicle is coming online. Haven't seen any four-wheel drive off-road vehicles available in New Zealand yet, but if you want a big SUV, Tesla Model X is around, and if you want a regular size SUV, there's a couple of electric MG have a electric SUV. Anyway, I'll give you the details in a minute. So just in the scheme, there's the dotted line bits, and so also if you buy a used import vehicle, so if you buy a four-wheel drive inefficient used import from Japan, there's actually a cap, and it looks like the cap is about half the number of what the new vehicle penalties and discounts are. So if you say you're a trade worker and you just need a van, and you just need a diesel van to drive around with your tools and gear, and you just buy for your business, you just keep buying a cheap used import van from Japan, then even if you buy a relatively inefficient van, you'll pay half as much as if you bought a new relatively inefficient van in New Zealand. People want examples, so I'm going to give you examples. So here we go. I'll just open a new tab. If you just go to rightcar.gov.nz, you can type in a model of the car. So if we just go Ranger, there's Ford Ranger there. You can type in a number plate of a car and it will give you the T. So if you've got a vehicle that you already own, if you just type in the number plate of that vehicle, you say you're going to buy another vehicle that's exactly identical to that one. If you type in the number plate of a vehicle you already have or is a vehicle that you're looking for, it will give you the details for that specific vehicle. Now, it looks like all the data is not finalized yet, and so it always says sort of like may get or whatever. So I'll just make this bigger as well. There we go. So here's our Ford Ranger right in the middle. So this is the 2015 diesel, and or newer. So this is the flat deck, the no. The put on whatever tray you want on the back you're using on your farm. So the penalty for that is between $430 and $4,600. Ford Ranger 2011 onward, there we go, $2,000 to $2,800. Here's another one, $2,800. Now I've shown you Ford Ranger because I think that's the most popular vehicle in New Zealand currently. So if we go Hilux, Hilux, I think that's how you spell that. There we go, Toyota Hilux. You can see that. So 2019 onwards, the possible fee of looks like 1,300 to 4,700. Yeah, so you can look up these things on Rightcar. The interesting one is that I guess there's different. You're going to get different engines. These ones all seem to be around that $2,500 number, but you can sometimes get something interesting. I'll just put LDV in here. This is probably a brand that not lots of people have, but I'll just bring up this one. The LDV T60. So you're about to buy an electric two-wheel drive version of this car coming up, and so this one, so the diesel version has a $2,800 to $5,175 fee. But if you bought the electric one of these, it would be run the other way. You get $8,000 discount. So that will make the possible difference around $12,000-$13,000 between the most polluted version and the least polluted version. Anyway, so so these are LDV T60 EV. You can take it. They're taking orders now. And LDV have lots of just work vehicles, and a lot of what they sell are vans. So. Okay, so I just re-recorded this bit of audio. Now these ones with the green tick boxes on them. These are the ones showing the discounts. But I'm looking at this, and it's saying some of these say e-deliverer, and other ones say deliverer, and I think they've mixed up the data on some of these. So the e-deliverer is the electric powered van, and the deliverer is the diesel version of the same van, and some of these are mixed up. So LDV V80, that's a diesel one, but the EV80 or the e-deliverer 9, it's got renamed. So there's a EV80 and a deliverer 9. They're basically the same kind of vehicle. Anyway, these are electric vans, and they have discounts, and these are like $3,000 to $8,000 on these discounts. When I was reading through this, it was a little bit confusing because I think that some of the vehicles are actually in the wrong category. Hopefully they'll fix up the data. Anyway, back to the video. Rebate of $3,500 to $8,500. I misread that, and so these green ticks on these boxes mean that they get a rebate. And around the other one, these ones have fees. They don't have the green. They don't have the green tick boxes. See that green check box at the top of the thing. You get these. So e-delivery 3. I've driven one of those. It's just a small city van. Does 200 or 300 kilometers on a charge. There's actually different size battery models for that. So that's something. So what's some other vehicles that people buy? Like Suzuki Swift. There we go. So these get a discount. So there's a hybrid version that gets a discount, $1,300 to $3,200, and there's actually just a petrol version. The petrol version also gets a $2,500 discount. So just small efficient cars. These are like Suzuki Swift is one of the most popular cars that people buy in New Zealand just for their ordinary commute and around town cars, and it gets those discounts. So if we go to some of these older versions, these ones aren't as efficient. There's no rebate or fee. You just pay the price that the vehicle costs. And I don't know if there's possible fee. So here's an old version, the 2004 to 2010 version. It's less efficient or something. So you pay $860 fee on that. So there are some fees. Like here's an old inefficient one. It's not very safe. It has a much larger fee. What's some other vehicles that people tend to buy? Just Corolla, there we go, Toyota Corollas. Now Toyota Corollas, there's hybrid and non-hybrid versions. So again, these are being ranked. So you buy these hybrid versions. So before the clean car discount, it didn't used to include just hybrid cars. So these are not plug-ins. These are just plain old hybrids that have a battery and a generator and take the the wasted energy and use it to drive the vehicle. So these ones have got discounts, 1,200 to 3,100. Those are good discounts. If we go down, and you might better find a used import one. So some of these ones might be available as used imports, like perhaps this one here. Got $1,500 off, so that's quite good. So I've also noticed that some of these, this is interesting. See, this one here, it says no rebate or fee. Maybe that model is just not very efficient. That's interesting that there's some older models are efficient and some of them aren't. So you'll look around. So I presume that when you go to a car yard next month, they will have this information on a card on the dash, I would expect, because the pricing will look odd otherwise. So there's these like these wagons that people might import, and so that one gets a rebate. So that's a efficient small station wagon. That's good. Like, there seems to be something in there. Another interesting one is Mitsubishi Outlanders. There's plug-in versions of the Outlander. So here's a plug-in version. You got a $1,800 to $5,700 rebate on that one. So that's pretty good. You can get used import Outlanders as well, plug-in hybrids, and I would imagine that they would get some decent kind of a discount as well. So there we go. You can look through all the different kinds of cars. There's like Civic. That's a Honda Civic, so are pretty popular. There's hybrid versions of the Honda Civics. So there's a hybrid, gets $800 to $1,100 a discount. If you get this really sporty looking one that looks like it burns more fuel than you need to, I don't know what it's got in it, bigger engine or something like that, that one's got a fee. But the regular ordinary one, it has no fee or anything. And then just Tesla cars, Tesla of course have all electric vehicles. So there you go. So these ones have rebates between $3,500 and $8,600. So all Teslas are electrics. So you got these rather large discounts on those. Hyundai have some electrics as well. So they've got a new SUV. They don't have pictures of it in there yet. Sort of SUV style car, and they're electric as well. So they get a good discount. Got this hydrogen allegedly they sell a hydrogen vehicle, which I don't rate hydrogen at all. I wouldn't recommend anybody buy a hydrogen vehicle. There might be some very special particular people who might, but they have very few of the advantages of electric cars other than low emissions. But they're not cheap to run, and they have really terrible in Japan they have very terrible value loss. Like when you buy one, they lose 40% per year of their value. They're really bad. Like I've seen used Toyota hydrogen cars in Japan. There was one like 3 years old, and it was worth about 25% of its retail price after 3 years. They're just terrible. They don't have their value because there's many reasons why they're bad. They're just not good for people to drive because you can't recharge them anywhere, and there's hardly any hydrogen stations anywhere, and the hydrogen's expensive. So doesn't matter how cheap the car is, they have terrible operating costs. Hyundai Kona, that's another electric one. So all the electric cars have things up to $8,000. There's some plug-in hybrid. That's a plug-in hybrid version there. You get a discount on that. And then there's some just efficient. The i30. That's just a very efficient diesel car. Of course, you have to pay road user charges on that, so it makes it expensive. Yeah. So, so the petrol version of the Kona has a fee. So here's the thing where the difference. So with the fee on the petrol version of the Kona and the discount on the electric version of the Kona, it might make the electric version be actually as cheap as the petrol version, and certainly be much cheaper to run once you buy it. Anyway, so that's just what you want. I hope that's helpful. Everybody can go to rightcar.gov.nz, look up whatever vehicles you want to look up, and get the information that they will allow you to understand what sort of costs you're in for. Thanks for watching. I don't know why I didn't see any of this mentioned in the news, and now I have to work out how to stop my video. So many windows open. There it is. And stop recording.